Cute Little Reindeer and Sweater Gel Nail Art Tutorial by Hot Pink Zebra Polish.
Hi guys, in today's video I'm going to be showing you this design that is a cute little, very cartoony, sweet looking little reindeer, and it's all done in pastels and then some very cool, very 3D sweater nails that I absolutely love. This is one of my first or second times doing this sweater nail technique, and I thought that it was so much fun, so I'm going to have to do this a little bit more often. I hope you guys like it as much as I do, and don't forget to click subscribe to see all my future videos as well.
Bye! I began with painting my ring finger with 2 coats of the color Honeydew from Madam Glam. And if you guys are interested in any of these Madam Glam colors, I have the list of all of them I used in the video in the description box below, as well as a discount code. So 2 coats of that. This Honeydew has remarkable coverage. Then I'm going to be using the color Sakura to be painting the base of my little reindeer, and that color is kind of it's like a really pale lilac-y lavender color. So I didn't want my reindeer to be your traditional browns and beige color. I wanted him to have more of like a purpley tone too. So that first little lavender base started out well, and then I used the color Sweater Weather, again from Madam Glam, to be adding the darker tones onto my reindeer. So paint about the top 2/3 of his head, or her head actually, I think my little reindeer is a girl. So do the top 2/3 of her head with Sweater Weather, and do the little bits on the tops of her ears, and then paint her shoulders and down her arms. So you leave a little bit of the lighter color just around the belly, just like so. Leave it like that, kind of fill that in, and after you have that done, cure it again. And then I'm going to be painting a scarf around her neck with the color Think Pink. And that one is like your classic Barbie pink is what I think of it in my head. It's not a neon pink, it's just a very nice bright pink. Then with black paint, I'm going to start doing all of the little outlines and details, beginning by going just around the perimeter of my design and outlining anything that I think needs it. I wanted this whole little reindeer to be extra cartoony and extra just very cutesy. And it's funny, when I first showed my nails to Terrell and he looked at me and goes, "Oh, that's a really cute take on a reindeer," which is just a funny thing to hear come out of his mouth, I thought. So thought I'd share that. I'm also going to outline her facial features, add her little mouth lines, add a heart-shaped nose. And at this point, just do outlines for the nose. You don't have to fill it in or anything like that. Little half moons for the eyes. And then with a little bit thicker black lines, paint the antlers. So these are just a base for the antlers, and after you have them done that far, then you can go ahead with some gold paint. I'm just going to fill them in. So take a little bit more of that color, a little bit more gold, and just fill in the lines, leaving them so you can see a little bit of that black perimeter around them so that they're still outlined. And then after you have that done, go ahead and apply a layer of glossy gel top coat over the whole design and cure it. And then take some matte top coat on a little brush and just go over the reindeer. So do the antlers and then the face and the body and the scarf. Just go over all of that, and then after you have that filled in, go ahead and cure it again. And when you're applying that matte top coat, be a little bit generous, because otherwise you might end up with some glossy streaks that shine through. Then fill in her nose first with a layer of Madam Glam's metallic gel base, and then the metallic silver base, and then do the color Ruby Red, which is a perfect Christmas red metallic on top of that, and then I'll cap that with some gel top coat. For the thumb, I began first with 1 coat of the color Think Pink. It is so pigmented, and I knew that the whole nail wouldn't be showing with that color, so I figured 1 coat was sufficient. Then with the color Honeydew and Seafoam, I'm going to be painting stripes going diagonally across the nail. So there's the first one, and then after you have that stripe in there, give it a little space, leave a gap, and then paint a second stripe with one of the other colors. Like I said, with this design, I wanted to keep it very cutesy and very colorful, and I used a mix of teals, pinks, and purples for the whole design. And then I'm going to add 2 more stripes after those first ones are cured. One Sweater Weather, and one is a bit of that from Madam Glam. So fill in the Sweater Weather, and if any of these colors you feel need a second coat, you can definitely do that. And depending on how thick you're applying them, and if you aren't using these specific colors, if you're using different colors, you may or may not need to do a second coat. I really only felt that Sweater Weather and Seafoam needed it, but then after you have all your stripes done, apply a layer of matte top coat and cure it. And then using the same colors you used on the stripes, so on Seafoam, use the color Seafoam, I'm going to be taking and painting my little sweater pattern. And in this nail, I kept the pattern very, very simple, very simple. And on each little stripe, I created little dashed lines going down in one direction and then mirrored them on the other side of the stripe going down. So do it the same way that you did the stripes before. Do 2 of the stripe colors, so do the Seafoam and the Honeydew. And then don't cure this yet, but just do 2 at a time. So you're not doing ones that are right next to each other. So there's the little pattern on the first one, that honeydew color, which is one of my favorites. I absolutely love that color. Like I said, it's super pigmented and it's just kind of a perfect aqua color. And then I'm going to go across and do them in the other direction. And those 2 colors, the Seafoam and the Honeydew, would make a gorgeous gradient. If you're somebody that really likes to do gradients, they'd be stunning together. Then before you cure this, so don't stick this near a lamp, take some clear acrylic powder or some clear dipping powder if you have dipping powder and not acrylic on hand, and sprinkle that over the wet gel. And be very generous with the amount of acrylic that you sprinkle on top of there. Tap off any extra and then cure it. After you take it out, use a nail brush just to get rid of any of that extra acrylic powder that's on there. Then repeat the process with the other colors. So I did Think Pink in that upper corner and then Sweater Weather across the middle, and finished that last little triangle of my nail with a bit of that. So just go through with those, doing the exact same pattern that you did on the other stripes. Once again, sprinkling them with acrylic powder so that it saturates, the gel saturates completely, and it kind of mattifies and gets some texture to it and stays 3D. On my index and middle nail, I began with 2 coats of the color Sweater Weather. That one isn't as pigmented and it has a depth to it. It's absolutely gorgeous, and 2 coats has complete coverage, so if you're worried about that, that's not an issue. But it just has a slightly, like I said, deeper appearance to it because it isn't quite as pigmented. So it doesn't look quite as chalky. I mean, chalky is not really the word either. I can't really think of how to explain it unless you use it yourself. But if you understand the way that the gels are, you should probably get an idea. Then on the middle nail, on 2/3 of it, on the left 2/3, I painted that with the color Seafoam. Then I'm going to be applying a layer of glossy gel top coat over Sweater Weather, curing that, and then matte gel top coat over Seafoam and curing that again. Then using the color Seafoam, I'm going to be painting my little sweater pattern. So I started out by doing a straight line from that edge between the 2 colors, and then adding a parallel line right next to that, leaving a small gap. Between those 2 little lines, I created some diagonal lines going the other, just kind of down to the side. And then creating that classic cable knit pattern, which is almost like loose S shapes going down. I created another stripe of sweater pattern going there. And then I filled it in with another stripe on the far edge of that, and then a couple little dots between those first little stripe pattern and the cable knit pattern. Once you have that done, sprinkle that generously with your acrylic powder, tap off extra, cure it. And then on the index nail with the color Honeydew, so that's the lighter teal, I'm going to be painting just polka dots going across the nail. And polka dots are one of those things that I am always drawn to. I'm a polka dot and stripe type of person, and I always have been, I always will be. I love patterned anything. I love patterned clothes. I love patterned nails. So doing a polka dot nail on here just kind of made the whole thing complete for me. Obviously, if you wanted to keep it with the sweater theme, you could do a sweater pattern across that nail as well. Be just as pretty as the polka dots. But I just felt that those 2 colors, that kind of a mauvey purple and then that really light, pretty aqua, was a good combo. So I had polka dots over the entire thing. If you prefer to, a dotting tool can be used to create the polka dots. I personally don't really like the way that a dotting tool creates polka dots. I think that they're too thick, and like as far as the amount of product that's placed, and you can't really get into the little corners as well, but that's completely up to you. After you have all those polka dots done, cure that nail and then apply a layer of glossy gel top coat to seal all that in. And then on the pinky nail, I'm going to begin with 1 coat of a bit of that, which this color is a little bit more purpley than the other pink I used, than Think Pink, and it has a ever so slightly frosted appearance. It's got a little bit of a shimmer to it, which is so pretty. It's not enough that you look at it and think sparkly or shimmery, but it just gives the nail a little bit of movement. Then using the colors Seafoam, which is the first stripe that I went horizontally across my nail, and then the stripe on the very tip of the nail is the color Think Pink. I'm going to, after I have those done, 2 coats cured, I'm going to do a layer of matte gel top coat, and then using matte gel top coat, I created my sweater pattern. Now doing top coat instead of the gel color doesn't leave you with as defined of a sweater pattern, but it is definitely still there, and I still kind of like it. It's a little more subtle, but it has that texture to it yet, and it certainly has a sweater appearance. Again, after you have that done, sprinkle it with the clear acrylic powder, and that's it. I love this cute little reindeer and the knit scarf and then the knit stuff going across the rest of the nails. I hope you like it as much as I do. And here is a Melody Minutes.
This side's got like 10 snowmen and we got 1 over here. Here, right here. Put it right here on the screen. Want some help?
Good job, sweetie. Oh, it fell
Want to
down.
help me, Melody? Here. Hold the snowman. And that. There.
Did you drop it? You gonna put it on the tree?
I do, but I don't want to put $200 for it. The volleyball business.
Oops, we dropped it again.
It's okay. Like how many inches long it is.
Katie,
Yeah?
do you know where the other ones went that I had in my room?
Nope.
Are those pencil cards?
Yes.
Do you need help? Do you need some help? Yeah. Good job. You can do it. Can you put that one on the tree?
Melody, you want me to pick you up so you can put it high? Here, let me pick you up, buddy. This way. Ready? Oh, where do you want to put it? You want to put it right over here?
Who is that, Melody? Donald. I think that one's Daisy. Yeah, Daisy.
We have the most in the room on left. You can do that one.
Yeah, just don't get like.
Good job, Pumpkin. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you like my design, and if you decide to do a recreation, please share it with me on Facebook or Instagram. I'd love to see it, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!